Hey everybody, and welcome to week 2 of EDU6550, coming to you not live but recorded from our flat in London. We just got back from Brussels a little while ago, and it's actually 9 p.m. here, and I know it's only 5 o'clock back there in the States, or 4 o'clock back there in the States, sorry. But here we are in the evening already, and I wanted to come to you and get you the video for week number 2. As a reminder, those of you who haven't yet done so, you've got till 11:55 p.m. tonight to finish up those discussion posts from week 1. That means you're doing your 2 response posts, and again, make them at least 100 words. I'm starting to look at them now. I've got some time tonight, and I've got some time tomorrow night before we head off to Scotland on Wednesday. So hopefully you're having a good week for yourself, and I gave you guys the pictures yesterday, and I'm going to give you a picture today in my email of where we were today in Brussels. A really, really neat place to go to. So anyway, week 2 starts tomorrow on July 3rd, and what you're doing in week 2 is reading chapters 3 and 4 in the Data-Wise book. Hopefully, you already found chapters 1 and 2 to be very useful, and you're going to find chapters 3 and 4 give you even more information, which I'll come back to in just a moment. The second thing you're doing is you're doing the week 2 discussion forum, and in the course, under coursework, under the discussion forum, I've posted a lot of pertinent information about chapters 3 and 4, an outline and some good stuff to want to cover and talk about. And I'm going to mention a few points here in just a moment after I finish with the assignments for the week. So discussion forum number 2, and you're going to go ahead and do your initial post. And I believe the date I put on that is like the 7th. So later on this week, and then everything else is due by the 9th, which is next Monday. Those are your 2 response posts. Also due by the 9th is a very simple assignment. It's WCG number 1, the inventory. And all you're doing here is giving me a screenshot showing me that I can see you can access the WCG program again like we did during the law course. That's a really important piece to try and get that taken care of, and make sure you got that one uploaded. You're not putting that one into chalk and wire. That is only going into the portal. So you'll see 2 places for grades in the portal this week, week 2, the week 2 discussion forum and the WCG inventory. That's it for this week, but I do want you looking ahead and working ahead in those WCG assignments. Unlike our last course last fall, which we had a full 16 weeks, you're going to find this one goes really quick with these 7.5 weeks. And you're going to have to get a whole lot done. Start looking ahead to week 3, which is the actual learning results. That's the piece you do regarding our course in the WCG, the William Cecil Golden online piece. And then the one following week, you're starting to work on that John Hattie paper, which is going to be due on July 30th. Now, I'll be back in the States by then. You can email me. I'm going to tell you the Wi-Fi where I'm at in London kind of stinks. And my phone works great, but after using a half gig of data every day, it slows down terribly as well. Hopefully in Scotland that will get better. We'll have better Wi-Fi. I can never tell, but I will be available to you. I got plenty of text messages today from work, regular work, so I don't mind responding to you. If you want to text me or email me, I will get back to you. Do me a favor, though. If you do email me a long email, send me a quick text saying, hey, Dr. Richmond, can you look at my email? Because I've turned off my push notifications on email just to save data, and I'll go in there if I have to if you sent me an email for that piece. All right, so real quick, let me give you one more thing to talk about this week, and that's going to be the information and outline for chapters 3 and 4 in this Data-Wise book. Give me 1 second to load that up. So as you look at chapter 3, one of the big things you want to think about is a focus area. And so the reason why you're covering this chapter before we get to those data chaps in week 3 is that this chapter in particular talks about choosing a focus. And as you look at data, you're going to see a lot of things, a lot of areas for need, a lot of areas for improvement, a lot of areas to do well on. But the real big thing here is to look at an area of focus and then look for a story, a pattern you're looking for to try and cause improvements or look for improvements. You want to look at displaying the data and how you put that data out there. Most of you in your districts have this lovely thing called VAM. I'm going to tell you that's some formula somebody created to make numbers look good. If you've not done stats before, I did a lot of stats work in my doctorate. I'm going to tell you guys that you can make numbers look good or bad depending upon how you're looking that day. So those are things that are really important, but the most important one in Chapter 3 is that last section talks about allowing staff members to make sense of data and understand it for themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to incorporate those data chats with you guys in the incoming weeks, so we can talk about the data and talk about how it kind of fits into things. So that's Chapter 3. A really, really good read. Chapter 4 then takes that data and looks into it and digs into it deeper and looks into how it affects students and how it works with students and how you can first look at one data source and then use multiple data sources. And that's a big thing to think about. As I work with some schools this past year to try and improve their science data, we looked at both the kids' scores the previous year, which, as you know, in science, we only test them in 5th and 8th grade. So look at that one. And then we looked at district assessments for those kids. Because remember, if you just look at the 5th grade data every year for elementary or 8th grade for middle school, you're getting a moving target because it's a different group of kids every year. So we looked at the 5th grade data from the previous year to see where we had issues or areas of concern. And then we looked at the kids' data on formatives throughout the year in 4th grade and 5th grade to see areas we had to focus on. And we also looked at, most importantly, those state specs and standards of telling you what's going to be tested and all that. And we'll talk more about that in ensuing weeks. But some good content for you to read through and discuss and talk about in the discussion forums. And again, try and get your initial post in by the 7th. Which is the end of this week. And then that way you have until the 9th for everybody else to go ahead and respond to your post. No quick deadline like the first one on that. Any questions, please email me or send me a text or both, and I'll get back to you guys, and I will talk to you real soon. Have a great week, everybody.